In this episode, I visited the iconic Domino Sugar Factory in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, which was once one of the world's largest sugar refineries. Now, the refinery at Domino. No studio, no plan, just my phone. And we were visiting my husband's college friend, Peter Corbett, and when we arrived, he was so excited to show us his full-size yurt inside his workspace.
Come on inside, come on.
Yeah.
Let's see.
A very New York moment, and I hit record.
You're sitting in a Lotus Bell tent.
Why did you pick this spot?
We've been watching this building get rebuilt for 5 years. You can tell from the outside it's just going to be a very special place in New York City. And so we rented 2,000 square feet to turn it into a gallery for my wife's fine art and then for my creative experiments related to leadership.
It's cozy in here.
It is.
It's very grounding.
Yeah. You can imagine 8 founders and CEOs sitting together in a circle. And instead of sitting around a boardroom table, we're sitting in here. So will we have different ideas? Will we think of ourselves differently? Will we let go of certain conceptions we have?
How do these help?
Helping people learn what being fully present and still can do for them in this time of unstillness and lack of attention. Simple, Tibetan singing bowl, ring this 3 times and start a period of zazen. So seated Zen meditation. So when you do walking meditation, so usually the instruction is the sound of the clapper, begin walking as slowly as you've ever walked.
I don't know if I could do that. I could try.
It's fast, it's fun.
What do you burn? I'm curious.
Only Japanese incense that is pure. Because the incense we usually get has some impurities, could be heavy metals, could be all sorts of other stuff. Aloe wood is a wood I really love and I love the scent of. And so when you offer it, right, you light it and you offer the incense. An offering, think of it as to your highest self. So in that moment, I'm getting present with what is my highest and best self? What am I working on?
There's always these little seeds.
Well, that's the beauty of seeds. I germinate about 700 plants in our greenhouse in East Hampton every season. They don't all come up at the same pace. Right? So we don't know when are these seeds really going to start sprouting? And when they start sprouting, you see one that's really vigorous. Started a festival called Spirituality Week with a co-founder, my buddy Ross. And it was an idea that couldn't go away. It was just we
It's
just
annoying.
started a 10-day festival in New York City for spiritual practices and meditation, breathwork, all that stuff. I realized that it would never go away, so I need to bring it to life, but it doesn't mean I have to run it going forward. I have this awesome 0 to 1 energy, and not everyone has that. That's a really hard thing to do. And so getting that up and out, and I'm like, okay, now I don't have to run it. And I think a lot of creative people get stopped because they feel like, oh, well, if I do this, then I've got to keep doing it.
Yeah. So what's next for here?
You don't see the setup in here yet, but I'm going to do some, I would say formal tea ceremony in here, but compared to what actual formal tea ceremony is, it'll be informal. And I'll do these 3 to 4 hour tea sessions that can be very intense and catalyze real breakthroughs for leaders. And I'll just give you the simplest example. So 8 people sitting around a tea table. A buddy of mine who's a founder and CEO of a company sitting across from me at the tea table. And every once in a while, I'll open up the space for a question. And I'll say, does anyone have a question for the tea master? He bows in and says, how do I know if I'm on the right path? I say, well, how do you know when you're on the wrong path? And he says, oh, when, it doesn't feel like it's within my values. And I said, okay, how do you know when you're on the wrong path? And he says, when I have this feeling in my stomach. So, okay, how do you know when you're on the wrong path? I ask it 10 times. He gives me 10 answers. And I say, is it okay if I slap you really hard across the face? And what do you think? He said, yeah. And I go, wow. And he leans and goes, I'm never on the wrong path. So tea can be that. It can be, we're focused on a very intense and specific question, and we need a breakthrough moment.
That's really cool. Yeah, because people are so scared. They're so afraid of making the wrong choice.
Yes.
Everyone. A lot of times if you just start making a choice, you're like, okay, this isn't right. You get that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that intuition. I'm obsessed with intuition on my podcast. Andrew and I both, we're big on gut feeling and intuition, How do you improve on that? How do you make that stronger? What do you...
Famous lines from probably several Zen teachers, but sit down and shut up.
Yeah,
Full stop. Like sit, find stillness.
I agree. Yeah.
And when you find that, this gut, this whatever it is that you're tuning into is so much easier to hear. But if we're moving around and we're talking all the time or reading too much, we're scrolling on our phone so much, like I can't even hear my gut.
Yeah.
So just like sit down and shut up.
I love that. Now, when I need to, if I have like some crazy stuff going on in my life, or I have to, think about a decision, I'll go to like, I call it the woods. It's like, where it's our farm property, and it's just quiet. There's not, you hear some animals, you hear, the important things, but it's so, and then I usually leave there like, okay, everything makes sense when I leave there, What's that place for you?
Well,
Can it be here?
well, it could be here, but we live in East Hampton most of the time, which is a very beautiful beach town, the East End of Long Island, and beautiful estate. And in there is this half-acre vegetable garden. So I mentioned germinating seeds. So when I'm in the veggie garden and I'm like pruning the tomatoes, something happens where it's not me pruning the tomatoes. I'm now a part of a continuum of tomato-ness. The bees and then the tomato blossoms are all in coordination in real time, and I'm no longer there. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
I didn't realize my coworker was the bee.
That's so cool. I've never thought about it from that. Yeah.
So can I lose myself out there for a bit? And I lose myself for hours. I usually start in the garden probably around 5 a.m. And I don't go in the house until about noon when I come in for lunch.
Hardcore gardener out there.
Hardcore.
Even here in New York City, just going outside and like Central Park, any park.
So I've lived in New York on and off for almost 20 years, and every single day I've got to go to Domino Sugar Park or I've got to go to Central Park. I don't know how you survive life in a city without that deep nature connection. I just would hope anyone listening to this, if you're not getting enough nature time, just like make that a deep part of your practice. It's so important.
It's the most important thing. One other thing I want to touch on is Burning Man.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about.
Of course, we're sitting in a Moroccan style tea tent.
So there are a lot of days I would imagine at Burning Man.
I encourage people to try to find someone that goes, try to find a camp that sort of fits your vibe. And it turns out people find true chosen family that way. Like camps are not just something you visit. It's something you contribute to. It's something that you build over the years. I would just go. Like if you're even curious, just go.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Though there's a lot of preparation.
I need the outfit. I mean, I'd have to.
The outfits.
Can we look at your wife's painting?
Of course we can.
Because I'm a big art fan. So let's go out
Let's
here.
go out there. Nicole started out as a photographer, became the CEO of a creative agency she founded. These are not paintings. These are photographs that are printed on velvet and then hand embroidered. And these are a series from White Sands, New Mexico. So what you can see in the pieces are landscapes that she mostly was running naked through, frankly, and or having clothes on. And then, taking the pictures and doing the selection and then doing the embroidery. She just came back from another shoot there that has figures in it. So these are all no figures in the yeah. And then the next series will have, I think there's 3 models that are engaged in various dance poses or otherwise throughout White Sands. And then
also,
pardon? Well, yeah, that's also one of her practices. And then in here, there's 2 more pieces we're going to put up on the walls. As I said, you guys are getting the earliest preview. She's also a ceramicist. So these pieces are like almost 2 feet tall, and she hand builds them. And then they're fired in her kiln in East Hampton.
She fired some herself?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She does everything.
And marks all of the pieces with her hair. So this is not a brush. So she, with her hair, and we can see.
Is it her?
Yeah, that's her. And then you can see like the marking happenings on a piece there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we gotta show us. That's fucking.
Isn't that loud?
I'm gonna do this now.
Yeah.
I get my head, but this is good.
Come have a look just at the exterior. So this is the former Domino Sugar refinery, and they kept the historic facade and built the modern glass office building inside. So it's really gorgeous how they did that.
Amazing.
So happy to have you guys.
Yeah.
Really
Thank you.
pleasure to meet
This was
you.
awesome. This was very unexpected. Off the cuff.
Off the cuff.
That's when you get the best stuff. You know?